Morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode number 37. Hey, you release him because I, the Lord, released you. We're going to talk today about the Lord's release, and it all has to do with financial lending to another person in the people of Israel at the time of Moses. Here it is. This is from Deuteronomy chapter 15. Let me read it just a little bit and get us started. At the end of every 7 years, you shall grant a release. And this is the manner of the release. Every creditor shall release what he has lent to his neighbor. He shall not exact it of his neighbor, his brother, because the Lord's release has been proclaimed. Let me say that again. Because the Lord's release has been proclaimed. Of a foreigner you may exact whatever is yours. With your brother your hand shall release. But there will be no poor among you. For the Lord will bless you in the land that the Lord your God is giving you for an inheritance to possess, if only you will strictly obey the voice of the Lord your God, being careful to do all this commandment that I command you today. For the Lord your God will bless you as he promised you, and you shall lend to many nations, but you shall not borrow, and you shall rule over many nations, but they shall not rule over you. So there's a posture in this story which is be ready to release your neighbor or to be wronged financially. So let's talk brass tacks. Let's say you lent $1,000, a real amount to a fellow Israelite at this time. This means you had $1,000 extra, or at least $1,000 to put to work. So you had been granted some means. Now, that person is either unable or unwilling to pay you back, and that's a terrible situation for you and for him, or he is unwilling to pay you back. So if he's unable, you need to be ready to release him, and if he's unwilling, you need to be ready to be wronged financially. So the Lord desires us to be in a position, or desired them to be in a position of mercy towards the people of God. Why? Because the Lord's release has been proclaimed. So that's what this passage is really about. It's about lending, but the big concept is the Lord's release. God is in the mercy business, and that means we don't deserve it. And so what he's saying is it's not out of bounds then for us to be mostly in the mercy business as well. So in regards to sin, the Lord has released the Israelites from justice. In other words, he's held back his wrath. And he does that for us in the New Testament by even becoming the justifier. That's what Jesus does. So the motivation for these people to take the financial hit and release another financially is that he has released us spiritually. So the Israelites demonstrate that they get what the Lord has done for them spiritually by demonstrating the same thing to another financially with their own hands. So don't misunderstand this concept. God's not communistic. He flat out says that the individuals own their means of production, in this case, by our example, the $1,000. So what is lent is yours. You're the master of this resource. But the story doesn't stop there. There's a bigger concept at work, which is he's the master of you. So let's continue, verse 7. If among you one of your brothers should become poor in any of your towns within your land, that the Lord your God is giving you, you shall not harden your heart or shut your hand against your poor brother, but you shall open your hand to him and lend him sufficient for his need, whatever it may be. Take care lest there be an unworthy thought in your heart, and you say, the 7th year, the year of release is near, and your eye look grudgingly at your poor brother, and you give him nothing. And he cry to the Lord against you, and you be guilty of sin. You be guilty of sin. You shall give to him freely, and your heart shall not be grudging when you give to him. Because for this the Lord your God will bless you in all your work and in all that you undertake. For they will never cease to be poor in the land. In other words, you're going to have infinite opportunities for this. Therefore I command you, you shall open wide your hand to your brother, to the needy and to the poor in your land. So God is not mocked. He understands what you're thinking. So if you say in your heart, I'll just avoid lending to the poor, I won't answer the phone, and especially as the year of release coming. No, he says, he asks for a heart towards the poor that's similar to his heart towards us. So take care lest there be an unworthy thought in your heart. Don't let your eye look grudgingly on your poor brother and do so your eye is wrong first, your heart's wrong, and then you do the wrong thing with your hand. You give him nothing. So he asks for a hand towards the poor brother among you that is similar to the Lord's hand towards us. So open wide your hand, you shall lend him sufficient for his need. And then the Lord sees all of this, and maybe not even another single person sees this, but the Lord is pleased, and then he pledges that the Lord will bless you in all your work. So he starts that there will be no poor among you because he's come up with a solution for poverty, and then describes the remedy, which is having the right heart and the right hand towards the poor. And having the right heart towards the poor in Israel was going to result in having the right hand towards the poor. So in conclusion then, the Lord's release. So this story is only a couple chapters away from, let's say, the golden calf situation where the Lord had right standing to smite everybody. But the Lord says, no, I'm going to release you from that. So the Lord's release is here being proclaimed in the financial interactions among the Jews of Moses' day. So the motivation for the people to take a financial hit possibly and release another financially is that he is released us spiritually. And he also promises to bless you at the end of it. But you release, the big point is, you release because he released you. And I think this is a good example of what kind of posture we're supposed to have in the church. The Israelites demonstrated that they get this spiritual concept by what they do with each other financially and with their hand. So this whole story today about in Moses' time among the people of Israel, that these financial interactions amongst the people of Israel all proclaim the Lord's release. And that is, you release him because I released you. That's a good thing for us to keep in mind. Thanks for listening.